Okay, here we go. This is another installment, and the subject that I'm going to talk about now in this video is the evils of Rabbinic Judaism. Now then, what does it mean, the evils of Rabbinic Judaism? It's a term that's thrown around by Messianic believers in JC, and they basically say that, well, the rabbis, or the Pharisees more like, in the New Testament, they added to the law of God in such a way that it actually nullified the law of God, or made keeping the law of God even more difficult by adding extra restrictions and all this sort of stuff. And they'll often quote the idea that the sort of teachings of the Pharisees and the rabbis is known as leaven, which everybody knows is evil and wicked, the leaven of the Pharisees. And so this quick video is just to demonstrate the fallacy and the nonsense which goes behind this scare tactic that the Christian church and the Messianics and the New Testament trying to paint that Rabbinic Judaism is evil. Okay then, a little bit of context then, to try and make things a little bit clearer, and maybe one or two questions. I'm sorry about that, but questions are a Jewish thing, and questions tend to make you think. So if you're a bit worried at this stage, maybe you need to turn off the video. Okay, what does it mean, Torah, when it says something? Very often when we read the Torah, it says something, and it says God, and you must do it in the way that God has commanded you to. And when you actually look into the written Torah, there's nothing there to tell you how to do it. Can I give some examples? Well, okay, one example is we're commanded that we must sacrifice animals and slaughter the animal, and we're commanded that we must do it in the way that God has told us to do. But when we look in the written Torah, there's no information. I mean, what do we do with the animal? Do we stab it? Do we hit it? Do we strangle it? What do we do with it? We don't know. But people did sacrifice animals in the days of the Torah. In fact, even before that. So what did they do? How do we know as Jews what to do? And the answer to that is that it's always been there with us. It's an oral tradition. It's been passed down from father to son to father, and we've always known how to slaughter animals for sacrifices, or animals to eat. We've always known that. The same thing goes for things like circumcision. I mean, the question is, we're commanded to circumcise our foreskin, but really, how much do we chop off? There's no information. What do we do with the bit that we chopped off? What remains? What do we do with that? All that information has been kept by the Jewish people in an oral tradition. It's been passed down. We know how to do it because we've told each other how to do it. We've passed down the information, received this information, because at Sinai we're told that we received a Torah, which is plural, means Torahs. Okay, a written Torah and an oral Torah. Okay, on to the next bit. Okay, we'll start with a scripture verse, Jeremiah 17 verse 21. Thus saith the Lord, take heed to yourselves, and bring no burden on the Sabbath day, nor bring it in by the gates of Jerusalem. Verse 22, neither carry forth a burden out of your house on the Sabbath day, neither do you any work, for hallow the Sabbath, as I commanded your fathers. Okay, we're not to carry anything, either into our house or out of our house on the Sabbath day, and we're told specifically in verse 22, but hallow the Sabbath as I commanded your fathers. Now the thing is, if you go back into the written Torah, you'll find there's nothing mentioned there about not picking things up and carrying them and in and out of your house and all that sort of stuff. Just isn't there. The information isn't there. Okay, but Jeremiah says, as I commanded your fathers. Okay, so this must be a verbal command. Okay, we don't find such a commandment in the written Torah. It's a verbal command. Okay, so now how do we address these people who come with the old idea, the leaven, the evil leaven of the Pharisees? Okay, and we'll give you an example. We'll look at John's Gospel, chapter 5 and verse 8. Jesus said to them, "Rise, take up your bed, and walk." And immediately the man was made whole, and took up his bed, and walked. And on the same day was the Sabbath. The Sabbath. Okay, it was the same day. He picked his bed up on the same day. And in verse 10, the Jews therefore said unto him, the one that was cured, "It's the Sabbath day. It's not lawful for you to carry your bed." Oh, so the Pharisees did know something. Maybe the Pharisees knew what we just read in Jeremiah chapter 17. Okay, that orally it's been passed down that we shouldn't pick things up and carry them and take them out of our houses and into our houses, because Jeremiah says so. It's part of the oral tradition. The leaven of the Pharisees. Okay, I think they got this leaven from Jeremiah. Jesus got it wrong, I'm afraid. Okay, we start the next bit. And what is the next bit? Well, first of all, you'll notice that I've changed and put my braces on, because it's getting darker here now. I've had to switch the light on. And, as anybody knows, Judaism teaches that we've got to wear our braces in the evening. No, that's not true. That's a joke. Okay. I want to give it an example. Daniel chapter 6. Okay, the story behind Daniel. They wanted to, basically all those evil courtiers wanted to catch Daniel out. They couldn't find a way of doing it, because Daniel was honest and good and true. And so in Daniel 6 verse 5, these men, they said, well, we can't find any occasion against this Daniel, except that we find it against him concerning the law of his God. Okay, and what did Daniel do? He prayed 3 times a day, facing Jerusalem. And it was this that the evil men were able to catch Daniel out, because he was praying to God 3 times a day, and they knew that Daniel did this, as do all Jews, and it's written in the Torah, in the Talmud as well, that we have to pray 3 times a day. Okay, and again the same question is, where is this written in the written Torah? The thing is, you can't find it. It's just not there. It doesn't tell you you've got to pray 3 times a day. It's not there. Okay, and well, further proof. This word law, it's we're going to use a number here from Strong's Concordance, H1882, and it's an Aramaic word for law. And you want to make sure that this is really talking about the law of his God, because some people might say, oh, Daniel 6 verse 5, it's 6 verse 5. It's not talking about the law of God, the written Torah, things like that. It's not. Well, you can compare the same word. You'll find H1882, which is in Aramaic for law. You'll find it in the book of Ezra, and Ezra is written in Aramaic, and you'll find the same word used, and it's referring again to and it definitely says the context, and in the verses quoted here, that we're talking about the law of Moses. You'll find it in Ezra chapter 7 verses 12, verses 14, verses 21, verse 25, and verse 26. Okay, pray 3 times a day. It's not in the written Torah, but it's been passed down orally, the oral law. Okay, we have an example there in Daniel. Oh, more of this evil leaven of the Pharisees. What shall we do? Tell you what to do. Maybe you should read what the rabbis have to say. Maybe they know what they're talking about.